we looked at different properties, okay? We have a waste treatment plant right behind, as he told you, it's right behind the strip mall. If you think about it, when you go down the street, you know where it is. People have homes there.
We don't though. We don't smell none of that.
It's another historic place for the historic.
Why wasn't the community considered? Just from your point, I would just like to know truly, like, why didn't you, as a long-time Littig resident, I know you know the history of the Freedom Colony. Honestly, there's a lot of things that tie my family, Jackson Morrow's family, to that land. So why didn't you consider the freedom, like everybody in Littig who's a part of that Freedom Colony heritage and descendants? I just really want to know that answer from you.
I can't tell you that it had any
Profit.
It's not profit. It's not profit. We have to run a city, and I make decisions based on running a city.
Okay, but
and as far as the Freedom Colony, as what was going on now, I don't want this to sound derogatory, okay? But I have relatives here in Littig.
you too.
Okay?
You too.
And their property was sold years ago because they chose that.
Okay.
I can't go and prop up and make for sure that y'all had what y'all had when nobody even really came to us.
Okay.
Okay?
'Cause like
when y'all came to us, it was 3 weeks ago. And they say you didn't know about
I
it.
showed up to the P&Z meeting because those were the first notices sent out, and that's the problem here is we keep begging you to give all of us at least a mile radius
Why do you
notice.
think we're here?
You
my
taped
gate,
a notice to my gate.
and we spread the
We wanted
word.
to make for sure.
Yeah,
We're
but
not doing anything.
wait a minute. I would like to speak.
I really think we should.
Okay.
I would like to speak.
Professionally though. But
And remember, we are in the house of God.
Yes,
And
of
let's
course.
respect that, please.
So, time out. Let's, time out. If I can.
Excuse us, hold on.
So, if
This
we
is
can.
and in order.
Yeah, if we can say one thing, let me tone this down real quick, and I'm gonna talk to the notice piece, right? So there's a couple different things on the notice that I wanna provide, and yes, I've only been here 6 weeks, but I'll tell you this, there's a couple things that I have to say, right? So, while I understand and respect the Littig component, I will say that there's a safety component that I need to have everybody appreciate. Having a lift station is deadly. That thing goes out in an emergency and we're all done for it, okay? Time out. Time out. Okay, so that's one key. Second, the notice. Can you describe what the different notices are when you have a PNC notice and when you have the different types of notices and what goes out and what doesn't? Because I think there's a crossing or a miscommunication in that. Please describe that.
Let me
So
say
there's
this.
been
Let me say
Please.
something right quick, sir, if you don't mind. A question
Hold
the
on.
gentleman was asking to the mayor. You have county line of road.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, that's why I brought up Travis County. Littig is in Travis County. You have Littig Road, but Travis County, everybody in Littig pay taxes to Travis County. Not Elgin. That's the question that he's trying
I
to get an answer to.
Understand?
But as he stated that it had been known for quite some time, but nobody mentioned anything.
Right.
But you gotta always keep in mind that road, Littig Road, makes the difference.
Understood. So can we address the notices? Because I think that's very important here. Because I want to answer your question and especially yours. Because you've been asking that question a lot. And so I want to make sure that it is vocalized and everybody understands why people got certain notices and why others did not.
Okay.
So please, Bo, can you please explain the notice process?
Okay, so there's been 2 different sets of notices that have gone out. Some people have received both, some have received one or the other, some have not received. What I'm telling you is what the standard is per the state. Specifically to the annexation and the zoning of the property. By law, the city has to notify everyone within 200 feet of the boundaries of the property. So some people that are with their property line, if it crosses within 200 feet, you got a notice of the property for zoning and annexation. Some people showed up, that goes to P&Z first, then there's another public meeting, and then ultimately council has the decision too. So you were given a notice for that. The second notice that is required has to do with the permitting process of the treated effluent of the particular plant. That notice and who gets that notice is dictated by the state of Texas. What it reads is if your property is immediately adjacent to the plant property, you will get a notice. The other portion of that is if you're adjacent to the discharge all the way to a mile downstream, you will also get a notice. And so when we're talking about that, we're talking about essentially Dry Creek, which is the proposed location. If you take Dry Creek and you draw a line down Dry Creek, some of those properties are on both sides of Dry Creek. So they would have only gotten one notice. Dry Creek is on one side or the other of some properties, and 2 property neighbors got a notice. But that ultimately, per the state, they send out those notifications, a map and figure is done. They dictate who gets notified from that, from a permitting standpoint, and they're looking to do something. 2 different notifications for 2 different, completely different reasons. Annexation, it wasn't a notification of building a plant, it wasn't a notification of we're getting a permit for the plant, it was a notification on annexation and zoning. So
But you, and I don't want
Just
to.
make my little comment. My comment is about, my comment is about,
So
it was
we
a
can keep
year
it
ago,
uniform.
they were gonna
So I'm gonna give
build
it to
some
him
houses
first, and then we can
on
respect
County
questions and
Line
answers.
Road. I
Is that
know
okay,
that
everybody?
A year ago, a whole year, and so far as I'm concerned, that's the reason why they are, so far as I'm concerned, that's the reason why they hurry up and put this plant. Cause when I talk to the people about the houses they wanted to build, they say, hey, we're gonna have it, give us 2 years. And that was a year ago. And they're talking about 2007, that been the other year that he said. And I think that they're really putting it there so they could put in them facilities there, so they could put them houses there. Because the guy who building them houses, he's not gonna live there. No, not at all. It's your kids gonna be, you're gonna be there. They got all kind of junk go around these particular things. Nobody want them things close to them. Nobody. Nobody want, nobody want them close to them. And that's too close.
They're posting it to bid 2027, so they probably won't get started until like 2028, after contracting and vetting and all that stuff gets in.
You
So-
from the-
I live right on Morrow Lane, and your plant is right.
And she's across the street from me. And I got a notification, but she's across the street from me and did not receive one. So
I'm closer to the plant than she is.
So again, like I said, the
And
proper.
this is Travis County. Why didn't y'all build something in Copeland? Dry land.
Here's those 500 acres for a
See,
subdivision.
y'all chose property in Travis County. You didn't, and what county line runs, you have, where your plant is, that's in Elgin. But the other side, that's Travis. And Travis County workers, they work that bridge because they have to work the bridge for you guys because it adjoins us. But y'all chose property in Travis County. And we floods. If it wasn't for Don Graham, when it floods, we cannot get in or out. So, on either end, we are stuck in the neighborhood. On Littig Road, down by Wilbarger Creek, and down on Barry State.
Always
We
floods.
flooded in. So now y'all wanna put that plant. And all of that stuff is gonna come into our yard.
Exactly.
It's gonna come right off the Apple Road, too. It's gonna come right up at.
That developer has 500 acres. There was no room in that 500 acres.
Calm down. You can stick on this.
So I just want to reiterate, the reason it is down near the Cliff Creek, and I understand that, yes, water flows there, it's at the low. Sewer goes via gravity, you want your treatment plant to be at the low end. That is standard engineering practice. Where water naturally drains, and hence that second figure showing the drainage basins, the plant is going to be at the low. Now, this is not Louisiana. This plant isn't taking in stormwater from all over the city from rain and bringing it to the plant. It's only sewer.
All of our water floods come from the north, down the.
And that is the way God has laid out the natural contours.
So the plant should be in that.
Generally, plants are at the lowest
All dry
point.
ground, like open.
But the six,
Copeland would be going uphill from the city of Elgin, and then we would have to pump it that way.
Y'all dug a drainage from 290 back, right back here, so all the water could come this way. And when it flood up here, it floods down here. Because all the water come off the hill, and that's, by the way, that's not the only spot. Because right up on Monkey Road, Monkey Road, you go down Monkey Road, take a right, take a left at the school, you take a right. All that water elevator coming down, bam, step by step, bam, 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 till it get here, That's another downfall. Then it goes back again, down County Line Road, they go all the way, not to 290, 1 block from 290, because you put a drainage right here to grab it, and that drainage shoot it right across to the housing section. There's over 1,000 people living over there. Shoot it right over there. Then they got another drainage section, come right at the edge of the housing section, and it goes right back into Littig, because the elevation dropped across. Bam.
So basically, we've had water problems for many years before this treatment plant.
And
So
you want-
this treatment plant is only going to add to our water problems.
So if the question is about drainage specifically, not sanitary sewer, if that's what I'm hearing, essentially.
Well-
When it rains, drainage, not sewer, because those are in.
I think it's more the flooding is what they're
Okay,
touching on,
so-
is the flooding
Okay,
itself.
So when we're talking about in the floodplain drainage of those natures, the question was asked, permitting from Travis County, so on and so forth. So the city will design everything with detention ponds, retention ponds, that idea, so that the discharge off of it, based on impervious cover. You know, we're building a plant, it has concrete, there'll be some buildings, there'll be some sidewalks around there, there'll be a roadway that's shown on there. That impervious cover improvement, the city will be required to detain that prior to release so that it is not causing a negative impact. At the time of the design, where that gets discharged, if it's into Cap Metro right away, or if it's into Travis County right away, we have to go to that entity because they're responsible and they ultimately will say, yes, you're not impacting what was already there. Now, that is not saying that what is already there is working or is not working. That is not what the city is looking at, but they will not create a greater negative impact based on what they have to do and meet code as part of the permitting process.
So that's the Texas state standard. Sorry to interrupt you.
It would be Travis County or Cap Metro.
What you're basically saying is you cannot make conditions worse than what they already were.
Correct.
Okay.
That is generally, that is part of, each county has a different criteria. Each city has a different criteria for what they consider worse or not worse.
Okay.
There's not the state of Texas, but the state of Texas in broad terms say you can't negatively impact an adjacent property more than what it was already seeing. It is also saying that if water went to your property always, water is allowed to always go to your property.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
That's also the state of Texas, just to be clear. But in this case, if it were to discharge to the south, that's Cap Metro's property. The railroad owns the right of way. They would dictate and say, yes, you're having a negative or non-negative impact, and this is what we would want the city to do to drain this way. If it drained to County Line Road, it would be that same way. If it were to drain to the adjacent property, the city standards stipulate you cannot release more water in any given direction than was already currently being released from that property.
So after
Oh, I can't dictate to what's on there, what you guys see, and I can't, like I said, based on what's out there today, if it's great or if it's terrible from what I'm hearing from you guys, of what you
It's
have
terrible.
drainage
Terrible.
from Travis County, this particular project's not going to make that any worse as it stands, and that's Travis. That is the
Trying to
criteria.
make it better.
Yeah, that's the criteria that the state and Travis County will be measuring on. It's not.
And is that once the facility's built and already like dispensing the discharge?
No.
No, is it just projections?
Projection of where we would go, but it's based on hard facts. So the impervious cover is so many square feet or yards for the entire, or acres for the entire property. The detention pond has to be designed to a certain depth, a certain size.
And would that be on the parcel or would that be at the discharge route?
No, that has to be on the partial. The discharge route, everything has to be within the property the city.
And that worries me because I have a stock pond right there. 100 feet.
Because I live in Travis County, and what was the 100-year floodplain is now in the 500-year
Retention
floodplain.
to control the flooding.
And
No, it's like rainwater.
I mean, we all know the flooding.
Right.
So what if this facility is in the, I have a few questions.